Hello everyone and welcome to today's webinar. This webinar is a product briefing on the newly launched VigorAP 905 Wi-Fi access point. The presentation is expected to run for about 40 minutes and this session will be recorded and made available on our website within the next 48 hours. We also hope you can stay and join us for our live Q&A at the end of the presentation. But please feel free to submit your questions at the end of the presentation. We'll be on hand to assist you. Let's go over the agenda for today's presentation, which includes the product overview. We'll talk about the key features, any compatibility and the comparison between the new product and the existing products. And then we'll talk about pricing and availability. And at the end, we'll hold a live Q&A session. So let's meet today's team. Presenting the webinar today will be Lucas. He is a product specialist at DrayTek UK. And myself, my name is Doris. I am a solutions architect at DrayTek UK and I will be co-presenting with Lucas.
Thank you, Doris, and welcome everyone. Yes, you can ask any question during this session. So there is that questions tab, I would say, within the app. And today we're gonna focus on our VigorAP 905, the very brand new wireless access points that we have just launched together with DrayTek International. So let's focus on the hardware for now. As you can see, it's a quite similar looking product we had in the past. You may remember some long time users. We had the AP900, AP902, then AP903. Then we moved on to Wi-Fi 6 products, AP906, and AP905 is kind of an upgraded version, and it comes with detachable antennas that handle dual band radio connectivity. By the way, there's a third antenna hidden inside for 5G. You can see number 2 on the screen. It can be powered by a power supply, or number 6 here is the 2.5 gig Ethernet port that can also take PoE. If we move back to number 3, so the unit also comes with the power button, factory reset button, WPS, and finally we got the additional 4 1 gigabit ports and a single USB port as well. So this access point is not only an extension for your wireless signal, you can use it as a mini switch because it comes with 5 Ethernet ports, and one of them can be used for the uplink, so there is no wireless bottleneck because 2.5 gig is available on board. So if you connect it to a router or a switch that can handle 2.5 gig, this would be a perfect solution, a perfect set for your network. So let's focus on some key features. Wireless access points, Wi-Fi 6 access points, they offer great speeds. This particular model is no difference. We got offering link rate of 600 megabits for 2.4 and 2400 for 5G. And the standard comes with many advantages, many features such as FDMA, multi-user MIMO. So basically that helps with groups of end users to utilize the connection, wireless connection. So basically this is the set of features that helps with connectivity for environments such as offices, even small or medium homes where there are 2 or more users. They also benefit from that. But the key focus here is on multiple clients connecting at the same time. There is also Wi-Fi roaming. There are 3 key protocols that are now supported by DrayTek access point, the 802.11r, K, and V. And there is assisted roaming. So this is a feature that been with us for a while now. You can have multiple access points, and then switching from one to the other will be managed by the devices. So you don't have to use your phone and then, oh, disconnect from kitchen, connect to a room or something. So the system will do it in the background once it's configured. So that's just a reminder of what the features are offered on business class access points. Now let's talk about the performance. So you can see again the link rate on the right hand side, around 600 meg, and for 5G it's 2400. The real live speeds are right in the center of the table, 370 and 1400. Obviously specific testing conditions were applied to see kind of real life connectivity experience anyway. You may see it a bit better or a bit slower, subject to obviously the environment and the end device, the client that is connecting. And what's exciting again is the new DrayOS 5 operating system. We have mentioned that before, and we're gonna stick to the DrayOS 5 for now. It's a new system that allows to add new features and makes the configuration much easier, much user friendly. So, for example, you can configure your wireless from a single page. So I will actually demonstrate that in a moment for you guys. And DrayOS 5 is a new proprietary DrayTek operating system that is now offered across DrayTek products. So you may have seen the Vigo 2136 AX router or the C410 or C510 AX routers. They also come with the same operating system. And what is nice about that is that you're gonna see exactly the same interface and location of the menus and graphics. So it will be very similar for each product. It will be much easier to configure and much quicker as well. So I've got some demo videos prepared for this presentation, and I would like to quickly run that with you guys so you can get more familiar with the product and how to do some basic configuration. On this page, there's a screenshot of the dashboard. So this is the place where we land after the login process is complete. By the way, there is two-factor authentication and some other features available as well. And on the dashboard, you obviously can see the number of clients connected to each of the radios, the load, the current system status, including the firmware version. If you use ACS, it will also indicate here, and many other options. A nice visualized port status icon showing you which interfaces are in use and the speed. Right there you can see like the greenish teal color for the 2.5 gig interface, the blue one. So there's an uplink connected, and there are some LAN status and other information available on a single page. So now let's move to see what we can also do here. It's very simple to manage the AP. This is a physical interface where we can enable, disable a single port or all of them, the bottom LEDs and stuff. That's out of the box. So your access point should support that. You can configure LAN networks, and if DHCP is enabled, you can use bind IP to MAC, DHCP options, and so on. You've got some VLAN lists and stuff if you need to add additional VLANs, new subnets, and then that can be distributed across some SSIDs we configure later. In fact, this is the next video where we do configure an additional SSID. So just have a look how quickly that is. We just go to the wireless LAN, click the add button. Then we just add the name for the SSID. Here I put guest SSID. Then if the security method is fine with us, we can just put the password, at least 8 characters obviously required. and then we can assign it to a previously defined VLAN. So when we connect to this particular guest network, it should obtain the IP address from our VLAN 22 or LAN 2. Then we just hit the apply button, and that's it. Your wireless SSID is updated, or a new one created, and the AP is responding again. So it's not only quicker to configure, it's also quicker to apply the settings, and I believe the interface is visually more attractive as well. But it's not about the attraction, it's about the functionality, and the wireless configuration can also be applied. This is a demo actually from a router, just to show you the difference, that wireless router actually operates exactly the same as the AP in terms of the virtual controller. And here we've got the AP adoption happening. So the time may be slightly longer, obviously, because it is scanning the whole range of channels and devices. And you can see there is one of the APs detected, and it's gonna add it to the system shortly after. Here we can see that there are no options available yet. So we just need to refresh the page, and after about 2 minutes, you got some additional options like reboot, factory reset, or we can sync the device as well, the config. So it's a great tool. It makes it much quicker and easier to configure. And what's important as well, you can configure your mesh or AP management or access points in general from a single place, to be the VigorAP 905 as your wireless controller, or maybe a wireless router such as the 2136AX or the C410AX or C510AX. More routers are on the way, so don't worry, we're gonna have a lot of JOS 5 devices available at some point. Now let's do a quick summary of what the key features are. So first of all, the VigorAP 905 is our Wi-Fi 6 mesh wireless access point, and it can handle the AX3000 standards we just covered. It's a dual band wireless device. Security is a key, very strong feature basically here, WPA free, and you've got personal and enterprise modes available. So we can use radius that is somewhere on the network for authentication as well. About mesh is obviously supported, subject to compatibility, which I'm going to cover in a moment. What is also cool about the mesh is that you can have multiple SSIDs, including VLANs applied. So if your remote access points are connected over the mesh and we use multiple SSIDs, you can have VLANs configured for each of them, and the traffic will still flow through, and the additional, let's say, guest networks will be accessible. Another key feature here which is worth remembering, is that there's no bottleneck anymore with such devices, because the 2.5 gig Ethernet uplink is available, and we can add 4 more devices there, like maybe computers, POS, or IP cameras, or whatever is needed there. On top of that, we can power the device with the PoE plus switch or an injector, and the power supply unit is also provided with the unit if you don't have a PoE option. It's a fully managed and compatible device, so it can be in a standalone mode, so you can configure it from the web interface. No extra licenses or anything like that is needed. It just works out of the box, which is very nice. And if you have like a bunch of the devices, you can manage them from this particular one as well. So you can add more DrayTek devices here. And if you would like to manage it remotely, then you can consider the Vigor ACS management platform. So I think it's time for the compatibility and comparison, where we will quickly cover what does and does not work. So here we've got the AP905, our latest access point, and this is the mesh central management. So if we want to use mesh configuration, it can manage another 905s, 805s, and 1062C and 962C. That also includes the AP906. However, if the IP905 is in a node mode, it can be managed by another 905, as I mentioned earlier, 805, 1062, and 962C. The AP906 in root mode only manages 906 models, so there is a great improvement in that matter here. 905 is basically more flexible and can manage more devices. Now, if we look at the range of the routers, so in the mesh configuration, your router will be your root. So the mesh root is your router, and we've got the DrayOS 5 devices, the 2136AX, C410AX, and C510AX, and obviously they can manage the latest DrayOS 5 access points, so the 905, 805, 1062C, and 962C. And you can also use DrayOS 4 devices, which support AX standard, and they can also manage the new access points. So you've got two methods, you've got two range of these devices that are compatible. If it happens you've got slightly older wireless module, such as the AC, then you would have to combine them with the older access points, many of which are still available, such as the AP912C, or the outdoor access points, or the AP903 if still available. And now the probably most interesting part, where we compare the new VigorAP 905. Before I cover that in details, please do remember there is an opportunity to ask any question during this session. So please do use the question section of the GoToWebinar app, where we can answer. Our team is prepared and answering questions right now. So please do use that opportunity. We're happy to answer any question, and if not, we will follow up after the session as well. Right, so if we focus on the comparison chart here, we've got the VigorAP 905, and the key difference here is the product comes with the 2.5 gig PoE in interface, but it also supports additional 4 gigabit Ethernet connections. It supports 2x3 multi-user MIMO and can handle 16 in total of the SSIDs, so there is an improvement there versus some older models. If you still need a product that is kind of sealing only, for example, then I strongly recommend you the AP962C or AP1062C, which is smashing in terms of the performance. Now, some other features that DrayTek routers come with are the fast roaming, AP-assisted roaming, airtime fairness, band steering, and so on. The last section really here is the management, where multiple options are available, including the very powerful Vigor ACS. And as you can see, every single device listed here is fully compatible with every single feature. So the more interesting bit would be really here, if we compare the very new AP905 with our recently launched VigorAP 805. And as you can see, they offer different number of interfaces, but they're quite similar in terms of spec, right? So the AP905 advantage here is that it comes with additional ports. So what we've got here is a 2.5 gig Ethernet plus 4 times 1 gig Ethernet ports, whereas 805 can offer 2 connections. Some other differences is obviously the form factor. You can mount the new product, the AP905, to a wall, or just leave it on a desk. It's still gonna look nice and will be practical to use. The AP805 is designed for desks or shelves only. So it's kind of the only way to use it. And finally, the power source, the VigorAP 905 can be powered by both the PoE switch or injector or the power supply that is included in the box. And the second comparison that is worth spending is, why would you upgrade your AP903, for example, even 902 if it's available or used in the network, because that's gonna be even slower than the 903. So the key reason here, I would say, is the number of interfaces. It's kind of the same, but it's not really, because the 2.5 gig makes the difference. This is the speed, this is the performance. There is no bottleneck anymore. Although the bottleneck really would happen if we would compare the wireless standards that are supported here. So the form factor obviously is the same for the two products, and both can be powered by a PoE or power supply. And the key difference really is the Wi-Fi performance. So the smashing AX3000 versus still good, but much slower AC 1300s. So if you have multiple devices and they can handle Wi-Fi 6, then I would strongly recommend you guys to upgrade to AP905. And now we're moving on to the pricing and availability. And the product is going to be available, well, it's available from today, and the SRP is £99. You got the product code, EN numbers, and product description on the screen. If you need more details, again, you can ask some questions, and we can try to answer them during the Q&A session that follows shortly. You can also email us. The last screen will include all the contact details as well for you. So why would you use the VigorAP 905? It's an ideal solution for small office, home office environment where multiple devices need to be connected. There is maybe not enough room, or you want to make it look nice and neat. So there's only a single device that can handle both wireless and wired connections, because we got those extra Ethernet ports. You can use PoE or non-PoE way of powering the device. So if there is a PoE switch somewhere that handles maybe IP phones and so on, you probably can power this device as well and have those extra Ethernet ports, as I mentioned. Mesh support is obviously on board. It can handle more devices, and it's got the DrayOS 5 operating system that makes it much faster and easier to configure. Okay, I think we reached the Q&A session where hopefully Doris managed to answer most of your questions, guys. And we're gonna answer some of the questions that she has selected. And you can keep asking the questions during this session. We'll try to add more as time allows. So if Doris, you're ready, I'm ready as well.
Yes, Lucas. Thank you everyone for submitting your questions. We'll now be taking some of the questions. We'll take as many as time allows. So Lucas, our first question is, does the AP905 support the range extender mode?
Yes, so the new DrayOS 5 devices, they do handle range extender, AP mode, and as you may have noticed across a number of years now, it will actually respond by default in the mesh node mode if it's not connected to anything when powered up. So if you guys have a AP that hasn't been connected through the Ethernet, it will be waiting for a mesh route to adopt the access point. and if it obtains the DHCP via cable, it can still be adopted through the DrayOS 5 mesh system, but it will be like kind of AP mode. I actually strongly recommend you guys to connect the Ethernet cable wherever possible and use the wireless connectivity if that's the only way of connecting the APs. That improves the performance and the speed to sync and so on.
Thank you. Another one is, can the VigorAP 905 be controlled using VigorACS?
Oh yes, I have mentioned that multiple times, where VigorAP 905 can be actually managed by different management methods. In fact, maybe I can find a slide for you guys. So central management. No, that's not the one I'm looking for. That's the one. So you can see there is a lot of choice here. VigorACS is one of them. So for those who have didn't have a chance to use VigorACS, it's a license-based solution, but I think it's very affordable. You've got, I think, 30 days trial. So if you don't like it, you can just stop using it. And we actually got so many customers, and when we had like a face-to-face sessions as well, that people were like, "Oh wow, that's actually very helpful. I can actually save money by using this product instead of, you know, just spending money, because it basically saves your time. It lets you, notifies you about some issues like the device is offline and so on. So it's a very useful tool. If you would like to use something that is on site and doesn't need a license, however, doesn't come with so many features, you can use Vigor Connect. It can be installed on any virtually any platform, including Linux, Windows, even a Raspberry Pi can be used for that. So alternatively, you can use a built-in central AP management on a DrayTek router, compatible DrayTek router, wireless app, or yet another VigorAP access point.
Thank you, Lucas. Another question is, someone asked what PoE standards does the AP 905 support? That's a PoE or PoE plus or PoE plus plus?
That's a good question. So yes, you can use the PoE to power the AP 905. It must be PoE plus, because as far as I remember, the maximum wattage is 17. So PoE, standard PoE can handle up to 15.4. So yes, we need a PoE plus version of the injector or the switch, which is quite more common these days.
Thank you, Lucas. Yes, we've got more. So another question is, does the AP 905 support multiple SSIDs, using multiple SSIDs over mesh?
Yes, this feature is available. So as you may recall, the new access point can handle in total 16 SSIDs, and then you can configure it so that all of that can be sent across the mesh. And so basically, when you connect to the second access point that is connected over the Wi-Fi, you can have those additional SSIDs. In fact, I hardly seen people using more than 2, but on some occasions, having, let's say, 3 or 4 is also helpful. So you can link them with a different subnet that basically gives you more security and network segmentation.
Thank you. I think related to this question, another question related to this was, can I connect devices to different VLANs using the ports, the LAN ports on the access point?
So that should be also possible. but the main use of the VLANs is to configure your SSIDs and link them with the VLANs so that the AP knows which network you are part of, and then the corresponding data will be sent to that subnet only.
Thank you. Another question we've got, does the AP have a security lock?
Oh, that's a very interesting question. No, this particular unit doesn't have the security lock. However, if it's mounted to the wall out of reach, then I don't think it's necessary. If it's on a desk or shelf, then I guess that would be a useful feature. But now this particular unit is designed to be mounted to the wall, and we can also have it on a desk in a safe place, I guess.
Okay. I've got another question that asks, does the AP have, does it support LED controls? Like, can you switch off, switch on the LED control?
I see.
Yeah.
I see. So sometimes you may have an AP in a location where no extra lights should be visible, or maybe even at home in a room where kids, for example, go to bed. So what you can do, you can turn off the LEDs, but in fact, you can also disable Wi-Fi on this product during specific hours. So you can disable it when they go to bed, or you can disable or enable Wi-Fi for your employees or customers during specific hours or lunchtime, etc., etc. So all that is available. You can even disable factory reset button, so people won't be able to change the settings on the AP.
Good. Another question is, how many ports on the AP905 supports 2.5 gigabit Ethernet?
Oh, thank you for that question, Doris. That's a good one as well, because this particular product comes with gigabit Ethernet ports, and there is a single dedicated 2.5 gig Ethernet port that I would recommend you guys to use for uplink connectivity. So you can link it with devices such as Q60X switches, or maybe the Vigor 2136AX routers, where there are 2.5 gig interfaces available as well. So that will make a great set. So there's no Wi-Fi bottleneck, and you can basically use all the performance speeds available. So there's a single 2.5 gig Ethernet and additional 4 ports that can handle up to 1 gigabit Ethernet connection.
Thank you. Another question is, can you confirm if the AP905 access point supports 1024 QAM?
Yes, this type of modulation is also supported by this model, yes. Just back to the previous question, while you was preparing another one, I recall I actually made this quick, was it this slide? I think it's this one, where we actually did show you guys, sorry, this one, that the options are here. So we can enable or disable not only the Wi-Fi LEDs or the buttons, but we can also disable the ports, physical Ethernet ports, one by one. So that's basically the extra addition to the question.
Good feature to have. Yeah. So someone asked where they can obtain get the AP from, the AP 905 from today. Is it available
Right. So
today? Where can we get it from?
So it should be available on most DrayTek resellers' websites. If not, they should be available very soon. You can also find it on CMS or contact your account manager and they can get one for you. I think CMS Store is about to get the product page live. Obviously, I cannot check it right now, but I will make sure that it's available for you guys so you can place the order if you wish to have one. In fact, there are more than one available for each customer, so I don't think there are many restrictions at the moment. So if you would like to place an order for more than units, you may actually get some discounts as well. Just check with your account manager. If you don't have one, I do recommend guys to become a DrayTek dealer. You can go to the draytek.co.uk website and register there. And there are a lot of other benefits that you will find during the registration process and shortly after.
Okay, thank you. Another question is, can you connect this to the Vigor 2766 router?
You can connect any access point to any router. It doesn't have to be DrayTek router, and they should work fine. Just use the wired cable, Ethernet cable, and set it up manually, and that's your extended Wi-Fi signal, right? If you want to have some extra features such as management, then you probably need to use one of the DrayTek devices like routers or access points. However, you don't have to. You can use the DrayTek wireless app and you can manage your access points from your phone as well. So there are multiple options for management. The easiest one is probably using your browser and log into the AP and configure it that way.
Thank you, Lucas. I think that's all the question we can take for today's webinar. Yeah, so I'll hand over to you now to conclude the session.
Thank you, Doris, and thank you guys for the questions. I just got one more notification here. Our team is preparing some extra webinars this year, so you're more than welcome to join our 4G, 5G webinar where we're gonna talk about the use cases, why it's important to have such product, and there is also another webinar scheduled for 7th of August. That's the DrayTek proposition in 45 minutes. And we also gonna cover the DrayTek DrayOS 5, the new operating system that I tried to make you familiar with, but there were only like 3-4 slides. So once we've got more recordings and more details, it will be like in-depth DrayOS 5 briefing or I would say kind of technical review of the system, and we'll be more than happy to answer any questions and give you even more setup guides, maybe some comparison versus slightly older operation system. We had the DrayOS 4, so it will be a good opportunity to learn about the new products and new features that it brings. So thank you again, the team, for helping with the webinar. Thank you guys for joining and your questions. If you would like to add or have another question that we couldn't answer, we will follow up with some updates. If you haven't asked any questions yet, but you feel like, oh, maybe I should do it now, then please do use info@draytek.co.uk or use draytek.co.uk, and there are some contact form online pages where you can raise a question as well. So thank you again and have a great day.